some ASMR. I'm gonna cut this paper.
All right, welcome back to the Nub. I am the Merce.
It's me, Felton.
And Triple B.
Oh, ooh, he's starting to call himself Triple B
Ooh.
now. Look at Mr. Hollywood over there. All right, guys. Well, you know what? Let me open up. I mean, I feel like I kind of conduct this orchestra of terrible podcasts every time that we do one. So let me open up the floor here. Does somebody want to just throw something nerdy out there to discuss right now? Something that just off the cuff.
Off the cuff? Like, are you talking about?
Oh, and the
are you
cricket.
talking about weird stuff?
No, just anything nerdy, any news, before we start really getting into the show.
Actually, I might.
Okay.
Okay. Bring it,
Felton,
Triple B.
Felton, are you familiar with Magneto from the X-Men?
I've heard of him, yes.
Okay, they were having a discussion online. I don't remember where now. It may have been Twitter. That I kind of wanted to throw out there and see what you guys thought about whether or not Magneto would still be Magneto if he wasn't old enough to be a Holocaust survivor.
Like what would he be called? Like Mr. Magnet?
Well, like, if they just, updated him and made him, because as we go on, a Holocaust survivor gets older and older and older, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, to make him more modern, you kind of have to write that part of his origin story.
Oh, okay. I
Mr.
see what
Mag-
you're saying. Oof.
Like Fridge Magnet? Mr. Fridge Magnet?
Mr. Neodymium Hobby Magnet?
What's that one magnet you can go to the I don't know if it has a name other than magnet, but where you can go to like the hardware store and it's like that badass magnet that like sucks up all the nails and the screws and all that kind of stuff in your workspace, and you attach it to a car and like pull a car around on it and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Am I just kind of
I have no idea what that's called.
Sounds amazing.
All right, so moving on.
Well, he would have to have. I mean, there would have to be I don't know, like some kind of modern day equivalent to that, and I mean, you almost have to change his. Yeah, man, like what's been as bad as the Holocaust?
Well, I don't know if that would actually like determine what his name would be. Like,
well, are we? Wait,
what's
hold
another
on.
human tragedy?
Hold on, are we
that would
just
influence
saying,
Magneto's name?
Are we just saying his name or like his?
Because I mean, let's be
backstory?
honest. Like the Holocaust,
him as a character.
Well, okay.
the
him as a
Holocaust
character,
wouldn't
yeah.
have. There's nothing about the Holocaust that has to do with magnets.
Right.
Oh, I thought, I was thinking like, well, wait, like, so are we just talking like his name? Like, would he still be, would someone still think of or would he still call himself Magneto if he was, a political prisoner in the Ukraine? I don't know.
No.
Like,
Not his
so-
name, but like him as a character. Would he be the same?
Would he still be? Oh, would
kind
he
of
still be the same person? Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about his name too. That's why I was like, Fridge Magnet? I don't know where you would go with that. Okay, so you're saying like if he was like a small child that was separated from his family by ice in America. Oh wait, no, never mind. Let's not go there.
Oh.
Let's not. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to
So
think
yeah, okay,
of,
I
like,
see.
other places that have had Holocaust level executions.
Well, what if it didn't have to be the Holocaust? Like, what if Magneto was raised in just like a normal household in like the 1950s, like Leave It to Beaver kind of thing? Like would he then still be the maniacal? Well, I wouldn't even say maniacal. Would he still be the radical leader of the
Well, I think
Mutant Liberation Front kind of thing?
Yeah,
or
he's jaded. I mean, he's seen the worst in humanity. So why ever trust anybody? Why even go down that path if everybody's just garbage? Because he's really seen the worst of what humanity is capable of.
Right.
Yeah, so basically, Triple B is throwing us with the philosophy, or not even the philosophy. It's actually psychology discussion of nature versus nurture. You know, so is Magneto himself, Eric Leisner,
Len Shear?
something like that? Yeah, is he truly an evil person by nature, or not even? I shouldn't say evil. You really can't call Magneto necessarily evil, but is Magneto by nature, or is it by nurture from the experiences that he's had? I would venture to say that it's probably a little of both. You know, he probably you can tell that Magneto is a grandiose kind of person. He probably has like a personality complex of what do they call it? Where you're full of yourself.
Narcissist.
Narcissist. Yeah, he's probably a narcissist to begin with. So that is something that is would probably be a nature thing. You know, I think he would probably be a narcissist by nature. You know, because a lot of natural born leaders and such are kind of narcissistic, anyways, right? But then, of course, you know, having to deal with the Holocaust and going through all that stuff and seeing the worst of what humans can do to each other, you know, and then amplifying that to what they can do to mutants would have then pushed him over that edge. So I could probably see him being more of like his son Pietro, where Pietro is a very self-absorbed kind of character, you know, very
Absolutely, yeah.
narcissistic in that sense, but he's not necessarily evil. You know what I'm saying? And he's not, and I mean, he's been manipulated in the past by his father to do things, but he's not out there like every day, like, you know, screw the humans, you know, mutant rights now, that kind of thing. And he did not have to survive the Holocaust and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, right there, I think that proves that, yeah, if Magneto had been raised in a different way, different situation, different time period, even, that he might still be Magneto in the narcissistic kind of leadership or leader kind of person, you know, maybe very charismatic and such. But to say that he would then be as maybe willing to do the things that he does, you know, kill, you know, um, uh, harm other humans and mutants and things like that, I don't know. You know, I would venture to say probably not. He'd probably be a lot more like his son, but who's to say?
Well, I think we
So
have.
from a writer's standpoint, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say we can do the total opposite of the Holocaust. Let's say that he's born in relatively modern times in the opposite position. Instead of, you know, being a victim in these camps, he is now the son of, let's say, a billionaire that has a toupee, without naming names, and he's raised in that type of environment. You know, almost a baron, if you will, of amongst men.
So, like, his father teaches him his father teaches him at a young age to grab mutants in their mutation, like just grab them right in the mutation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, grab them by the
saying?
mutation, exactly. And see, like, you know, see from that standpoint how his character would develop now as the most rich and most powerful.
I love that idea, actually.
Yeah, that is actually an interesting idea. I just want to throw it back real quick to the beginning of this conversation, though, where both Felt and I were so confused trying to come up with different names for Magneto.
Well, I'll be honest. I got what he said at first, and then you started focusing on the name, and I was like, oh, did I miss the point entirely? Like,
no,
it
was just me then.
Talking about his name. Oh, okay, I'm a dumb.
No, I'm the only idiot in this conversation. I was the only one like, I don't know. What kind of name would you go with? I don't. All right. Well, that's it. That was actually an interesting conversation. I like that. Okay, I have to do that more often.
We'll edit it.
All right.
We'll fix it.
We'll get rid of it altogether. Like the conversation. Yeah, the conversation was too interesting.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine. I'll make you sound great.
It's like this. Oh, okay. Well, like, this is not the kind of podcast we're trying to have.
I'll make you sound huge. Make it sound. Your mutant power is huge. It's huge. All right. It's phenomenal. There's no other mutant powers on the planet as awesome as yours. That's almost DJ Khaled right there.
It's a little, yeah. It is a little.
Oh, Lord.
Mutant up. Bless up. All right. So, I talked to you guys off the podcast about this, but I'm going to bring it up now. I'm going to go right into my comic book suggestion, as it were. So, Stoney, I'm sure you're very familiar with Mark Millar, You Felton would probably be more familiar with his work as far as like the movie Kick-Ass,
Yes.
right? You saw Kick-Ass? Okay, so that's Mark Millar, the writer. So he has a team that has teamed up with Netflix. They have produced a comic book that's actually produced by Netflix, right? And I guess they're going to be doing a show eventually. I don't know if it's going to be animated or live action. And it is called The Magic Order. And I have to tell you, first off, Foxtail read this book before I did, and she was like, "You have to fucking read this book. Like, stop what you're doing. I don't care. Quit your job. Like, completely stop paying attention to your son. Like, don't eat, don't shower, don't wash yourself, don't even go to the bathroom until you read this book." And I was like, "Oh my god, relax." Okay, so I sat down and I read the book, and I didn't do a damn thing until I finished this book. So basically what this is it's an organization called the Magic Order. So it's a little play on words there. No. And it's a family whose sole job, like their main job, is to protect the world of normies, as it were, from outside dangers. Okay, so you got your Doctor Strange kind of thing going on there. They use wands and stuff, so it's a little bit of Harry Potter, but it's a very adult book. And the twists and turns in this book, sheer like crazy magic and ideas that are introduced in this book are phenomenal. Like, it's another one of those situations where it's like I just want to give up writing comic books because I'm just like, I will never be on this level. Like, this is fantastic. Mark Millar teams up with an artist named Oliver Coppel, and I believe he's done a lot of stuff for Marvel and some things for DC as well. But his art style is just, I mean, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like that mix, it's the mixture of like that sketch, meets like meets polished look, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Have you read any of this yet, Stony?
I haven't. That I'm familiar with
Or
him though. Yeah,
Triple B? I apologize, Triple B. gotta keep
I'm
our
familiar with Oliver. He's awesome.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you, like Foxtail told me, don't eat, don't sleep, neglect your children, stop working, don't do anything until you go out and pick up this first volume of the Magic Order. It was, oh my god, it was just amazing. I cannot talk enough about how great it was. I cannot wait to see what Netflix does with this. If this is going to be a movie or a TV show or a cartoon, but oh my god, it was so good. So that is the comic book news for you there. Who wants to go next? Are we gonna do some Kickstarter crack or some video game news?
Go ahead with the Kickstarter crap first.
Okay. Give us that hot dose of Kickstarter crack.
Yeah.
Triple B.
Okay. So this next one that I'm gonna have to figure out some way to call my wife into letting me back. It's called Bloody Hell. Hell with one L.
Okay.
It's a let's see. Bloody Hell is the story of 5 mystically powered Viking warriors imprisoned for 1,000 years by the goddess Hel, who are suddenly unleashed when their prison is destroyed by an artillery shell from World War One.
Oh.
And
All
the
right.
art is gorgeous. I love this. Like, and the rewards are reasonably priced. I mean, for $15, you get a digital copy, a process PDF, and a soundtrack download.
Oh
So
wow. Oh, that's
it's
fantastic. For only
yeah,
$15 too. That's really good.
right. It's the publisher is a Wave Blue World, and they've
Mhm.
done other Kickstarters. This Nightmare Kills Fascists and Deadbeats. Deadbeats I did buy,
Okay.
so I'm waiting on that one. But
And Dead.
yeah,
I was about to ask you if Deadbeats was good, but obviously you haven't gotten it yet. So.
I think we're supposed to be looking at that one next month. No, 2 months. 2 months.
Okay. All right. So that's another one to look out for there. Nubs from, I'm telling you, like, you're gonna get the whole nub community hooked on it. They're going to need their fix. They're going to be shaking in the streets trying to get their next Kickstarter.
It's easy to get addicted. I'm telling you.
Well,
All
I think
right.
that plays into and I've seen it in gaming too with the early access stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of people have become spoiled by
Yeah,
these early access developers releasing content and updates constantly, and now the
Mhm.
mainstream games are kind of falling behind because they obviously don't keep up with the update schedule like the smaller, Greenlight, Steam Greenlight back developers do. So
Yeah. Well, like I know that Triple B is addicted to the comic book Kickstarters. The only thing that's keeping me from being addicted to the board game Kickstarters is just the price point. Like, I bought some fantastic board game Kickstarters, like the Batman City Gotham Chronicles game, for instance, which is absolutely gorgeous and it's huge and it's full of stuff. But the
Teenage
price
Mutant
tag
Ninja
on that,
Turtles.
yes,
Excuse me,
and the
sorry, I was
Teenage
coughing. I'm sorry.
Oh man, so Triple B back in the day, my first big board game Kickstarter was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Kickstarter, correct? And so we did for the longest time we did because I didn't understand how Kickstarters worked. I didn't realize that you would have to wait basically a year for the board game ones, right?
yeah.
And so we started in our first season of the podcast relatively early on. We would do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Kickstarter watch, and it's like, and or update or something like that. And every time I'd be like, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Kickstarter update is nothing, and just did that for months on end. And then when it finally came, I think I almost broke my headset. I was so excited. So and it's a fantastic game. I love it.
I
But
enjoyed it.
yeah, the thing that keeps me from being addicted to them is just the sheer price point of these Kickstarters. Like I don't understand what kind of drug dealers are out there that also play board games. But let me tell you, they're living the high life because they're able to throw down like $300, $400, $500 on a Kickstarter, and I can't live that life. I'm saving up to buy a Tiger. I don't have time to be buying a board game Kickstarter every time I turn around. Um, all right. So let's move on into the video game news.
All right, well,
What do
we
you
got
got for us,
some
Felton?
to kind of follow that same track. We have some updates on Apex Legends.
Okay.
So we know about this new character Crypto, right? He's going to kind of be like a hacking, item location type of character. So that's going to change, kind of how the game is played. So
His nickname is Bitcoin, right?
yeah, like a big one.
Okay.
So that one
Sorry.
mining guy was digging around in the game, and he found some interesting. Now I'm going to tell you this, okay? And you're going to tell me who this sounds like, okay?
Okay.
The unreleased character that he found, the name was Rosie, right? I guess the AKA her like in-game name is going to be Loba, all right? And as far as some of the abilities and where it says character subtitle, it says translocating thief.
Hmm.
So who does that maybe sound
Sound
like in
Sounds
Overwatch?
kind of like Sombra.
Yeah.
Sombra.
So it seems like they split Sombra into two characters, Crypto and Rosie. So we'll see. We'll see if this is still early. It's still just code. They might have just put it in there to throw people off. But we'll see. We might get another new legend with some cool teleport abilities. We'll see.
See now, real quick, just what's funny about that character's name is that for those of us that are comic book nerds, Crypto is the name of Superman's dog. So, just throwing that out there. All right, sorry, go ahead.
So are you familiar?
Didn't mean to take the whole podcast to a halt. Like,
Oh, right, Loba and Crypto, right? Almost like Lobo. Huh? So,
yeah, exactly. I'm just saying.
So how much did you like the Blair Witch Project?
It was okay.
On a scale of 1 to awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't really care much for it. But in case you cared about it, they are releasing a psychological horror story-driven game that's going to release on the 30th digitally on Xbox One and PC, and it's going to be
for the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it's just going to kind of be a first-person horror game where you walk through the woods. I don't want to say like, the Walking Dead games, but it looks like it's going to be a first-person video game experience, kind of like they've been doing. So it's probably going to be full of jump scares and stuff like that.
But for that actual property though,
yeah,
the Blair Witch Project property,
straight, it's branded and everything, Blair Witch.
Haven't we isn't that like a little late in the game? Like,
so the thing about this game is,
I just need to know who's clamoring for the Blair Witch Project game. Like, who was sitting at home
know.
like all these games that are out, all these amazing, fantastic games. But you know what we're missing? The one thing out there that we really need to get our hands on is a friggin' Blair Witch Project game. A game based on, some quote unquote found footage, that was done by some college students in the friggin' late 90s. That's what we need. Like, I don't understand why we're not clamoring for game companies to develop this right now.
Quite frankly, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. I mean, come on.
Right? I remember signing a petition for this. I don't know why it's taking so long.
I've done it every single year. I've written to the last 3 presidents to have it done. And then
I'm writing my congressman too.
Yeah,
I write my congressman too. I'm like, where's my Blair Witch Project game?
I'm calling Biden right now.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you look at the screenshots, it looks like they put a lot of effort into creating the lighting and the atmosphere. With that being said, it almost just looks like an outdoor Outlast. That game that took place in the insane asylum or the experiment facility or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looks kind of similar, so I have a feeling... yeah, you should probably just go watch The Ritual on Netflix. That's a nice, scary movie that happens in the woods. And there you go. You save yourself the time because you'll pee your pants because it's so scary.
It was a good movie. That was a very good movie, actually.
And
it could be worse. I'm sorry. It could be worse. This game could be a reboot of the Blair Witch Project instead of just an addition to.
So
my God.
Almost made me spit my drink when you said that.
Oh man, I'm just like where does this stuff come from sometimes? Like, what we really need? We need a video game based off of the Critters property. Actually, you know what? Never mind. That would be actually a fantastic game. So I'm gonna shut my mouth right now. Like,
hey guys, you know what we need
let me
to
stop
do?
right there.
Let's reboot the Fantastic Four again.
Yes, actually, they're gonna do that. So relax, and it's gonna be good. Hopefully this time.
Oh no.
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be good. Hopefully this time. Got my fingers crossed. So
there's no
they just need to re-release the one from the 80s.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that movie. It's so terrible and so good.
Oh, that's amazing. His movies were always amazing though in the 80s.
Right? Dolph Lundgren's just fantastic anyways. Like, let's be honest. Like, any guy who basically goes from being, in a what was that, the second or the third Rocky movie? It's the second one, right? I don't remember, but it was basically, a straight up blockbuster movie, right? With all the bells and whistles, and then after that, just makes a full career of doing B movies. He's a genius. Like, he made so much money off of doing just B movies. Except for Universal Soldier, which was another great crappy movie.
He was my favorite part of Aquaman. So
there you go.
Yeah.
It's just like what was his name? Van Damme. Van Damme might have done like 2 or 3 movies that were like real Hollywood movies, right? But most of his career was just straight up B movies, and he killed it. Like, he just like to this day, Cyborg is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. That is a fantastic crappy flick where is he the Cyborg? Oh, I don't even remember now. I think he's the Cyborg. And he's trying to protect this young girl or something like that. It takes place I think a lot of 80s movies, a lot of 80s B movies took place in the same place. Like they all went to a desert somewhere and they filmed post-apocalyptic movies in the desert, and it was one of those movies. You know what I'm
One
saying?
of my favorite
Like,
movies, I think it was called Desert Heat, with him, where he
Mhm.
played this like badass dude with a cowboy hat in the desert. That and oh shit, it was the one directed by I'm gonna Google it. Jean-Claude Van Damme, John Woo.
desert movie.
Hard Target. I realized it before.
Oh, that's a good
Hard
movie.
Target.
That's a
That is
good
a good
movie.
movie.
I
yeah.
love Hard Target because it's got John Woo's stink all over it, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you put John Woo, directing a movie, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, let's be honest. Face Off.
Oh yeah.
I want to take his face off.
Are you guys ready for your movie homework?
Yeah.
All right.
What you got?
Have you seen the film Hard Boiled?
Yes.
Okay. Stoney?
I'm not sure.
No? Okay. It is a 1992 or 1993 action film starring Chow Yun-fat, directed by
Chow
John
Yun-fat.
Woo,
Yep.
regarded as one of the best action films ever made. There's an amazing version that has been remastered in HD. I highly suggest you get to your local Blockbuster. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Never
Well,
mind.
I mean, instead, just go to your local.
Your local Amazon Prime, and you can rent it. Or I think it's actually on. I think you can rent it on YouTube. Anyway, I own several editions of it, including one from the '90s re-release. So
Why don't you just make your copies available to everybody else? Like, if you're listening to the podcast in the nub here, Felton will go ahead and ship one of his copies to your house. You watch it,
like a library.
You send it back, and then he'll send you the next movie in your queue.
Or I'll tell you what. I'm working on my living room right now. When I get the projector up, just come over to my house and we'll have a movie night, and we'll watch Hard Boiled. But that'll be the only movie that we can watch.
Okay, so everyone listening in the nub, just so you know, once Felton's done repainting his house and pissing his dogs off, we can go over there and watch Hard Boiled together. Okay?
Yep.
I'll post his address to the group.
Yeah,
that's
Fine.
absolutely.
I'm sure my HOA will love that. 1,000 cars.
I'm not only going to post his address. I'm actually going to post the link to the Google Earth where it shows him out in his front lawn in just his boxers, yelling at the neighbor about something. I don't know exactly what, but it's one of the most beautiful pictures you'll ever see in his life because he's literally just in his boxers yelling at the neighbor.
I'm actually
It's
looking
fantastic.
up at the sky, yelling at the Google satellite to stop recording it.
Oh my god. All right, guys. So I think it is the Die of Destiny time, right? We covered the Kickstarter crack, video games, and the comic book. So yep. I guess it's my turn this time, and since Felton rolled the extra die last time, Triple B, if you will do me the honors.
Absolutely, I've got it right here. Are you ready?
Yep.
14.
14. Are you going to add, subtract, or do nothing?
Let's subtract this time.
Subtract. Come on, 15. No, because that would be a 1, right? So come on, 16. Come on, 16. And I rolled a 20. And you know what? I'm going to take a picture real quick because I'm sure that you guys won't believe me. Just move the dice over to the 20 and take a picture. All right, so I get to choose who's going to tell the story. And you know what? Triple B, you are up, my friend. You
And
need
is
to tell
this
us.
just any embarrassing story?
No, it's got to be an embarrassing story. The interesting part of it doesn't even exist. It's just, I mean, it'll be interesting to everybody else, I'm sure, but it has to be embarrassing.
Okay, embarrassing.
Yes.
Actually, I was telling this story not that long ago. I have blue cheese dressing PT.
Oh, okay. I'm already loving this. All right.
Okay.
So, a long time ago, like 15 years ago, when my wife and I were dating, her mom had a restaurant. And one weekend, my wife, then girlfriend, was opening, and I was there just hanging out, being a bum. and a bunch of people came in, and she said, "Hey, will you go back there and finish that dressing for me?" So I jumped back in the kitchen, and I run the big spoon through this dressing. It is clumpy as hell. And I'm like, this is the clumpiest ranch dressing I've ever seen in my life. What did she mix this with? And so I spent forever back there mashing the goddamn clumps out of this ranch dressing. Mash and mash and mash, mix and mix and mix, mash and mash. I finally go back up front. I'm like, I don't know what you used to mix that with, but that ranch dressing is clumpy as hell. And she goes, you mean the blue cheese?
So I see you back there like with an apron on, like kiss the cook, whatever the case is, and you're just like your brow's sweating because you're trying to do the best job that you can because you're really trying to help out, and like you're just dripping with sweat, just going to town on this on this rancid ranch. Now here's my question. So you know what blue cheese looks like, right? It's got the clumps in it, and they don't look like something you actually want to eat. So
right,
you're telling me,
I don't know.
You're telling me that you're over here mixing this stuff up. At what point in time do you go, maybe this is rancid? Like, maybe this has gone bad. Like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to keep mixing it and eventually serve this to some unwitting person out in the restaurant.
In true restaurant fashion. Just
in true restaurant fashion. Like,
do it live.
Like, just straight up, like.
Our ticket times are too high. Give me the chunky dressing. We don't got time.
I know, like, I had blue cheese dressing when I was a kid and didn't like it, and so I never touched it again. So it never dawned on me that this might be blue cheese dressing. It just never occurred.
But it should have occurred to you that you might be stirring up some rancid, like, disgusting globs of moldy ass ranch.
I don't know. I don't know this way they did it, but like some places will use the packets. The dry season mix.
Okay, yeah.
And so but it's still in my head, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
at some point in time, you should have asked somebody, been like, "Hey, how long has this ranch been sitting out? Like, is this?"
So for the next week, they served blue cheese instead of ranch off and on because nobody could tell the fucking difference.
Oh my
because
god!
I mashed all the cheese out of it, and to this day. Anytime we're at a restaurant, anytime we have salad, my entire family is like, don't hand Stoney the blue cheese dressing. It'll just confuse him.
Yeah, we don't trust that bastard.
Yeah,
we do not trust that bastard.
I think the worst part about that is, don't you make blue cheese by what's its base? Is it sour cream or is it? Or I'm sorry, ranch dressing. Is the base of ranch dressing sour cream?
According to you, Felton, it's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise,
so.
yeah, it's mayonnaise. But isn't the base? Isn't it sour cream?
No, I think it's just cream.
So.
No, I thought it was just cream.
Oh.
Well,
there might be some sour cream in it, but.
Yeah, when you mix it with the powder, I think it's sour cream. So you're sitting there.
Yeah, you usually think it's sour cream.
Beating curdled sour cream.
Yeah. You know what we should do? Actually, we should save this for our foodie podcast.
Oh yeah,
and we'll talk about it then and figure it out.
Nerds United.
But, oh my god,
the Nerds United at the bar.
Yes. Oh my god, that actually sounds fantastic.
It can be the episodes where we go out and drink.
Well, Triple B, that was a fantastic story. I don't know if I trust you in a kitchen. Hey, this steak is supposed to be green, right? That's the color of steak is green, right? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool.
No, that's just left over from the St. Patrick's Day steaks. It's fine. Just.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Steven, it's December. That's rancid.
What, you guys never had green furry bread? You guys don't do green furry bread? You toast it up, you put a little butter on it. Green furry bread's fantastic. You put some of that ranch I've been whipping all day in there. It's gonna be so good.
This is an idea for a restaurant. Everything that is cooked is made by somebody who's in a complete misapprehension about the ingredients that they're using. They're using blue cheese, but they think it's ranch. It's steak, But it's actually
actually have a
mashed with
restaurant.
beans.
They actually have a restaurant like that. It's called Denny's. I don't know if you've ever been there,
Got him.
but got him.
God.
All right. I think we can definitely wrap this one up. Triple B, that was a fantastic story.
Well,
Glad that I'm never gonna eat in your kitchen. So on that note, this is the Merce,
Hey, it's Felton.
and the bald bearded bard.
and we'll catch you guys on the next one.